Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This box originally contained a drill saw kit made by John Oster. The saw is missing. It appears to have clipped into this side, and it is long since gone. But the toolbox and the tool itself is a nice little thing. It has a rack for drill bits, a nice clip that the drill motor clips into so it stays in position, and I believe these clips held the saw in place. Now I picked it up just because it had this 1/4-inch drill motor. And I have a few of those already, but none in this good a shape. No sparking, not much ozone smell. It's a nice little drill motor. Cummins 1/4-inch drill. Manufactured by John Oster, Manufacturing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It has a really nice chuck on it. And a chuck key. I don't like this kind of chuck key because it lets you change the drill bit while it's still plugged in. That's a thing that I try not to do. I am guilty of doing it occasionally, but I try not to do it because I've had very bad experience doing that. So we'll unplug the drill. That's a 1/4-inch drill bit we just put in there. Now we're going to plug some holes in a piece of wood. This is kind of cool. I seldom get the directions, operating instructions with it when I buy something like this. Usually this is the first thing to go. Nice little drill. Well worth $5 in anybody's book. And it comes with this nifty little arbor. And some other items down here. Looks like they had some screw eyes and a buffer. Now this little doohickey, don't use these. These are really a bad idea. When you have a grindstone out in the open like that, clamped down without any padding, what you're doing is crushing the grinding wheel and putting a great deal of strain on it, and then you've got it spinning at a fairly high rate of speed. It causes it to crack. And when that cracks, pieces fly out and you get hurt. Not a safety Sally, but I'm just telling you that's a bad idea. Another thing that was real popular with these kind of drill motors was making it do everything. I want to let the head of that screw sink down below the surface if I can. I'm working with what was in the package. This probably is not the proper size washer for whoever designed this, but then this is a make-do kind of kludge thing. Not what I would call a good method to start with. Now it does put the head down below the surface of the sandpaper. And we'll tighten that in there and see what happens. Because we're using this as part of the Cummins portable workshop. Whenever you're using one of these things like this, you want to be kind of cautious because it tends to kick around a bit. Now it does work. Not exactly what I would consider a stellar piece of equipment, but it does let you take your little 1/4-inch drill motor and make it into a sander, which sands. Something I've noticed just testing this little drill motor now, it has a locking trigger. The trigger locks that I'm used to have a button that you press in. You press the trigger down, push the button in, and it locks the trigger in. Not a big fan of these either, because when you grab a hold of it and you're really drilling something heavy, you tend to grab a hold right on top of that button. Then when you let go, it stays running. If your hand's caught somewhere, it's not a good thing. This one doesn't have the button. So when you're drilling, if you pull on it and go like that, the switch stays engaged. When you pull on the trigger, and grip it tightly, it tends to rock down and lock that trigger into place. Well, that sounds like a good idea for something that you're going to be using for sanding, unless and until this thing gets caught into something, like it wraps around your apron, which I don't wear an apron very often in the shop, but say it wraps around your apron or it gets caught in something, this towel that you've got on the bench wraps around that and it yanks out of your hand, it's going to keep right on running. Like I say, not a big fan of trigger locks. I'd just soon have it so that when I let go, it goes off. This one, it's a cool design, but I see it didn't pass on its genetic characteristics to later models. Seems to have died with this one. It's the only one I've ever seen. Now, along with the sanding, you could use this as a buffer pad too. And we've probably all seen one of these. This is an actual sheepskin pad. Real leather in there, guys. Sheepskin. Not the cheap polyester bag of crap that you get at the dollar store. And you struggle to get that on there. Then you tie a knot in the string, and this string is long since bit the dust. But then usually these were used incorrectly anyways. And there you had a buffing pad. Now, I don't like these. I'm not going to use this one for anything, at least not currently. But once again, this was part of the Cummins portable workshop. Lets you do everything all at once. So with all these little attachments, you have a grinder which risks your life, or at least your safety, a sander for taking off those rough marks, a wire wheel for cleaning up the rust and crap down into the tool, and a buffing wheel for giving it that fine finish. With this Cummins portable workshop, you could restore your very own alligator wrench. Not gonna. First off, this really isn't the kind of thing that I like using. Not fond of using a wire wheel and a 1/4-inch drill motor. I have much better ones. And this tiny little buffing wheel, even though it will work, not something that I would want to use. And besides that, I probably won't be doing anything with this for quite a while. It's bent, beat up, and I have some other work to do to it. So we go from the ASMR video of me putting together a Milwaukee portable saw. Very, I don't know, it's 2019. What do they call this now? The 20 teens? Very 20 teens. Cool saw. Clear back to the 1950s. and the Cummins portable workshop. Complete with sander, wire wheel, buffing wheel, depth machine, and a buffing pad. It's been a lot of fun playing with these toys. This I actually like as a drill motor. Not fond of that locking trigger, but I think I could work around it. The thing I like best about it is this thing is built solidly. I mean, usually when I get a drill motor this old, the cord is cracked. There's not one crack on this cord. It's still in really good condition. And the little toolbox, that's just a jewel all on its own. It's probably why the cord is in such good shape. It stayed inside this toolbox away from ultraviolet light and didn't degrade. It also seems like the cord is just a better graded cord. I'm going to take this out of here. I don't like having it in the toolkit. I don't like having it available. Now another nice feature is this box. Now the box has knockouts up at the top that you can punch out and hang this on the wall on a couple of screws. Myself, I would think that this part is supposed to be attached to the wall, and then this part swings out. And you'd have your little kit of drills right here. Like that, which would give you a pretty cool way to hang it. It'd be nice to have the saw. I don't even want to monkey with using the saw, but it would be nice to have the saw that went with it. If I find one of those, it would be really a miracle. This is a drill operated grinder that came with one of the Foley bell saw units. It was not part of the Foley bell saw unit, but it just came in the same package of stuff. And I suppose you could attach this onto the drill motor, mount the drill motor in some kind of a stand or vise or something, and grind with it. This is another one of those multi-tools. Not a big fan, but it is available. It does have a place for a tool rest on it, and it's got a guard on it. I mean, we're going to give them props for having a guard on it. It is better than this thing. At least it's got something to contain the shrapnel when the wheel breaks. $10 for the whole kit at Habitat for Humanity. We stayed under budget. We did a good job. Well, I like to think so anyways. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. And I'm really interested to see what you think of the ASMR. Odd thing. Might want to look it up online to see if it's what I say it is, because it's not anything I'm aware of. Thanks for watching.